Untitled Part 3, and oh, there's the lovely Miss LPH in her jacket, her patch jacket she's been working on.
I'm working on it. I still got 3 to sew on.
Okay.
So, but I wanted to wear it to show as part of the tour.
Yeah, that's actually very nostalgic.
Yeah.
But where are we going?
We're going to start here and work our way around. So we're going to start over the door, and as you can see, I have some frame tray puzzles. I have this card, the first card we ever got from one of the viewers. We did a trade, and he sent this card, and it has some writing on the back, but I really like the silver surface, so I turned it this way as part of the decor.
Oh, there's Johnny's train. Yeah.
And then we have some frame tray puzzles. I just framed the door with it.
Sure.
Because I want to display it as part of the nostalgia and everything. And it goes across this door. We have more frame tray puzzles, and it comes down to a few comic books.
Yeah, very unrealized collecting genre is the frame tray puzzles, because they're still relatively affordable.
Yeah. And on the door, you can see we have some notes and some cards from some of the viewers. Sent us some things, and they always put a card in it. And I wanted to save the cards because I save cards. I have like a box full of letters and cards from family and friends.
Sure.
And I wanted to put this up as part of the museum because they sent stuff to the museum. So I put cards, Christmas cards, letters, or whatever notes that people send. I just stick it here on the door, tape it to the door. It's part of the collection.
Okay.
And then we're gonna come around. We're gonna start here
and see some Biff Bang Pow.
Yeah, Biff Bang Pow Twilight Zone. They did a run of Twilight Zone on the card, and I have all of them. They're still relatively cheap right now, except for one. You can get them all under $100, under 50, honestly, under 50, except for Henry Bemis. He's the only one that people want ridiculous amounts of money for. I got this one fairly cheap because the bubble,
it was starting to come loose.
It's coming loose. And as long as I know, and you put that in the description, and I feel like I can either tape it back or glue it, I'll get it. And that's what this person did. And I knew I wasn't going to find it for under $100 unless I did it that way.
Why is Bemis so much?
I don't know. But out of all of them, he is the most expensive. You can find everybody else, like I said, under $50. Probably now it's probably up, but when I was collecting it, that's about
and
how much.
Of course, we're big fans of the Twilight Zone. Rod Serling is just classic.
And they did some of the classic episodes and made a figure of a significant person in that. Like you got the Talkie Tina, the Gremlin from the first episode with not Rod Serling,
William
Shatner on the plane. And I have his figure, but it came with the sideshow.
Yeah, she's got the 6-inch, six scale ones also.
Yeah, which you won't see because it's packed away.
Here's a ton of die-cast.
I also collect cars, Jada Metal, and I have some other cars. This right here is my Batman collection. You'll see like the 89s. This one is from Mezco, actually. This one over here.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I see the big fat Batman there.
Yeah.
Looking like a Metsit.
And then you have the animated series, the new Batman, which I have another one sitting in a Big Bad Toy Store in my pile of loot. In the 66 Batman. Then you have some stuff. I buy, stuff that I recognize. Like, I love the Pennywise. They have a Hollywood series. Yes. I have a bunch of the Hollywood series. You'll see a little later.
Macho Man.
They made this, and I was hoping they would continue with some of the classic wrestlers and putting them with a vehicle. But that's the only one I ever seen.
I'm pretty sure Macho Man didn't have an orange Jeep.
No.
But, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And then you have the smaller cars and Bumblebee.
This jumps out at me right here, obviously.
Yeah.
This is the Killer Swamp Thing.
Yeah, from the animated series that was only like 6 episodes.
Yeah,
it
5
was
or
not
6.
good. It was not a good episode. Well, a good series, I'll say.
Trying to get the glare off of there.
The animation was pretty bad. The dialogue was bad. They only put it out because they wanted to put out the toys. This is everything.
Yeah.
All of these toys were in the very first episode.
Yeah, they crammed them in there.
Yeah, they crammed them in there. And this is what you got. I like the card. The card art is pretty nice. And the figures don't look bad. The figures look pretty good. You have the play sets and some vehicles here. Like I said, they were all in the first episode, and then it like about 6 episodes later it was over.
Yeah, they gave up.
Yeah, the voice acting wasn't good. It wasn't a good show at all. But they did really good toys.
Some animation cells.
Yeah, courtesy of David.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me some animated cells, and then he framed them for me. And if you remember from the last tour, this whole wall that you just saw was all Ninja Turtles.
That's right.
And I took those down and I replaced them because I wanted to rotate things out. And these cells was with that.
And there's some Hot Wheels.
Yeah, from Johnny Future. Our very first donation to the museum. And then you have some Swamp Thing comics. I just got them up there.
And I see some Kid Robot down there.
Yeah, you got 4. And that's a strange story. I had ordered some Hikari from a person, and they threw these in.
Yeah.
These 4. I bought like a lot of Hikari. I think it was supposed to be like 3 or 4 Hikaris of the Ninja Turtles, and they didn't want these, so they gave me these 2. I didn't know what they were at first, and I was going to get rid of them, but I looked at them, I like them, and I didn't go with
baskets.
Oh yeah. I collect trash cans.
Yeah, this was a big deal, like 60s, 70s, and even 80s.
Mm-hmm.
These
I have a few.
Steel garbage cans.
And as you can see, I only have the 4.
And that is actually backwards, by the way, Peanuts, because when you turn it around, it reverses. Mm-hmm. It's kind of unique.
And then you see the NECA quarter scale turtles.
Yeah.
Down there. I left those up because they're too big to just pack away. So I just left those there. And you have all of the turtles. That's the full run plus the Shredder and the foot soldier.
Yeah.
And that's the whole run of that. So
nice. Where are we going next?
I guess we'll go to the center display. Put this back.
All right.
Okay, and what you see now is my Dukes of Hazzard collection. We got the lunchbox and the thermos, and this came from Joe Fest a couple of years back. I think in maybe I don't know if it was 2020, 2021, yeah. Something like that. I know it was after
of Hazard.
Yeah, it was right after the COVID.
And those are the
these are the figures that came with it.
Customized figures. It was supposed to be a show exclusive, and they stopped making them, and they didn't do the box. They just did the box art, and they're on the cards because they got nervous because of the flag. But she managed to get that one from the artist actually who painted that card.
And then we have the lunch tray. I do collect lunch trays, TV trays.
Yes.
And that's one that goes with this. I have a bunch. You won't see them because they're packed away.
Yeah.
And then we have the Mego. They only made the 4.
In the 8-inch size.
Yeah, I wish they had continued it on because they at least could have done like Roscoe, maybe Cletus or Enos, or what's the Cooter?
Yeah.
You know, like the main characters, Uncle Jesse. But they didn't. They with the 8-inch, they stopped here.
Your autograph.
Yeah, autograph, Bo and Luke.
Yeah.
Right there with the General Lee in the background. And this is a 45, the Dukes of Hazzard theme song by Waylon Jennings.
The full song. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He did the song for the show, and he was also the narrator, Waylon Jennings.
Yeah.
And this is the General Lee. This is Ertl, well, American Muscle. Mm-hmm. Made this General Lee right here. We saw another one at the flea market just recently.
Yeah,
made
the
by,
talking one.
Yeah,
or
but it didn't talk. Had
noise.
The lights that flashed and did all that. Then we have some more Jada. Well, the Freddy Krueger is Jada, and the Christine is another thing. I don't know, maybe Ertl or
it's
somebody.
It's a Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm. The Freddy Krueger's Jada Metals, the Hollywood series.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now we're going to move around this way. And we start with the Transformers.
This is where it gets crazy.
This is the very first Megatron, the Japanese version, the Walter P-38 Uncle.
Yeah, the 1974, so
Yeah.
G0.
Yeah.
Rather than
and
G1.
I got this on eBay really cheap, complete.
Unused, too. You see the bullets are still attached because it did shoot.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he looked like in the box. And
talk about grails.
Yeah. This is the classic G1, the American version right here of Megatron.
Yeah.
And then this is another Takara version because they didn't make a Walmart version, but this one came out in I think in the early 2000s, I believe. I don't remember the date right now.
Okay.
Then you have the G1 original Soundwave, and then the Walmart edition because I wanted the Walmart. And that's what I was trying to do. That's why, that's why I got this one because they didn't make a Walmart version of the original G1 Megatron.
Yeah.
So I got this one, but I got the original in the Walmart of the Soundwave.
And then down there,
we're going back to Jada Metals, the Hollywood, the car. That's the evil kit.
Yeah, the first kit because he the first prototype.
Yeah, and then Kid himself over there. And we're moving around.
What's going on over here?
We're back to Transformers. We have the G1 original Optimus Prime. And then the Walmart edition Optimus Prime.
Okay.
Here with the trailer, and this Walmart edition didn't have a trailer.
All right, and then some, I guess.
These
Jada
are some Jada Metals, the different versions of Optimus. The original version, and this one is a 90s style truck, and then the newer 2000 style truck.
Yeah, and then the
this
big one.
Yeah, from Jada Metals. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have the crossover here of the Ectotron, the Ecto-1. Mm-hmm. Crossover of Transformers, and he transforms into Ecto-1. This was a gift to the museum. I cannot remember who gave it to me. I'm not gonna lie. But it was a gift.
Okay.
And he fits in there. Then we move over to the Bumblebee, Jada Metals. 3-0 here. The first 3-0 I got.
Yeah.
Of course, again, Bumblebee, that's the battle damage. If you see, it's all scratched up. And then we have the 3 zeros down here. Soundwave, Megatron, and Optimus Prime.
Which we have all done. We've done reviews of all of these, I believe.
Yeah, we have. We have. And then we have a GIF to the museum from Edwin.
Yes.
He loves, he collects the Hallmark keepsake, and he always sends us the Hallmark keepsakes, and we put it with, it always fits in. So,
somehow.
Yeah. So this is with the Transformers, because it fits in with the Transformers.
All right.
Okay. I don't know if you can get on this side here, because, well, I can try and move this a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. We have another Jada Metals. This is the turtle van, as you can see. And then we get down here to the Diamond Select Universal Monsters. And I like the Universal Monsters, and I wanted to collect a line of it, and there's so many out there.
Yeah, it's been done a bunch of times.
Yeah, but I settled on the Diamond Select. I like the way it looks. It's that Mego style with the card, and it came in the plastic, which really sold me. Because when you collect, you want to protect your stuff, and I put a lot of stuff in the protectors.
Yeah.
And this came with a protector, so you couldn't ask for anything more. So I have the full run of those. And you know, everybody has something a little different. They'll leave out one. Like you might not get a mummy, or you might not get the what's this? The man from This Island Earth.
The mutant.
Yeah. So you might not get all these characters.
Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like this doesn't have the Invisible Man.
Yeah, this
obviously.
one doesn't, but then you'll find another group that does have the Invisible Man, but he won't have the mummy.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got that. But this one I liked the best. I thought it was, I thought the look was better. I like that it has soft goods. Mm-hmm. And just like I said, it came with the clamshell, so that really sold me.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to move over here. Let's start in this corner over here. Move that out of the way. We got this wall. We found this at Value Village, I believe.
Yeah, we were putting that together and trying to get it in the frame.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it's really nostalgic, because the whole breakfast cereal thing when we were kids really was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
And now it's like cereal, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But back then it meant something.
Yeah, they did a lot with the box. They put the games on the back. You had the toys.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot with breakfast cereals. And this just has all the old breakfast, older than our time even. But it's still nostalgic because it's the old cereal. So we put it in the frame and put it up because it fits well into the museum. Then I have some records. This is actually my childhood record. I had it as a kid, and I still have it. Not this one, no. The original one is put away. This one I found at Goodwill, but the cover was better, so I put this one up. And, you know, just some records you find at Goodwill for the nostalgic sake. Now we coming into Thundercats.
I'll start up here.
We got your
Ooh-wee.
we got a comic book. David donated it to the museum.
Did I?
Yeah. Yeah, he gave me that. So you know, I got it put up in my Thundercats section. And then Funko did these Savage Worlds. And I actually like the Savage World. That ran for a little while. They did Thundercats, and then they did some of the classic horror.
DC.
I got the horror stuff.
Yeah.
And then they got into some trouble with Mattel, and it all
I think when they ran the DC and they started making vehicles and a playset and stuff, Mattel started getting pissed off.
Yeah, because it does look a lot like the Masters of the Universe. The body does.
Yeah.
And that's what Mattel got upset about. And then you have some Funko Vinyls, which I do like the vinyls. It grows on you.
They stopped making those too.
Yeah, they did. And I have a bunch of vinyls. This is the first one, actually, I got. We went out one year. I think it was at Barnes & Nobles or Toys R Us. And that was an exclusive. And I saw it and I picked it up. And I actually liked it. And then I started getting more. So these are the 2 Thundercat vinyls that came out. Then we're going to move up to the very top.
Okay.
And we have the line of Funkos, Thundercat, that came out. That's all of them that came out.
You're gonna make somebody jealous.
Why?
You know, because those are the like pre-mass production Funkos, so they're not easy to come by anymore, except for the Tigra.
Yeah, the Tigra came out later.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are the original Funkos that came out. They didn't do anything else with Thundercats. I mean, they still got the license. I hope they don't, because I'm out of Funko now. But, if they did, I probably would jump back in. Now we're coming down to the Bandai. Are you on the Bandai?
Yeah.
Okay, we're at the Bandai. This is an exclusive. I can't remember what con, but it's a con exclusive. Probably SDCC, most likely. And then you have your Linos. This is the Mumra. If you remember the episode where you had the fake Lino, and that was Mumra, and they made them red so kids would know the difference. That's who that is.
Couple of loyal subjects there.
Some loyal subjects, Lionel and Tigra, and they all have their weapons and their cards. Tigra and Mumra, and you come down here to the Maddie Club, and then you start all over again with Lionel and everybody. And this is what I thought Super 7 was going to do when they came out, because I was like, well, that's the exact same thing that the Maddie Club was. And at first they didn't show the box of what they were going to do, but then the box is different because it was the Ultimates, and you had box, extra heads and all of that. So I didn't get the first wave of the Thundercats from Super 7. I did go back and get the Tigra and the Lionel because of the Thunder Tank, but I didn't get her Pumira. Then you have the kids came in a 2-pack. This is the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Mumra from Super 7, the Ultimate.
Glow in the dark, yeah.
And then the Maddie Club. Then my lunchbox and thermos. And you have some Dorbs donated to the museum by David.
Oh yeah.
Well, these were his, and he was getting rid of all his pops, so I took his Dorbs.
Not all of them.
Not all, but he was going to get rid of that. These are the Mezcos.
Yes.
This is an exclusive right here. We had a Tupac Mumra, the Ever Living, and then the mummified Mumra.
You see his legs are kind of like...
Yeah, the legs are here because it's too big to put in there. And of course the loyal subjects. And then you have more of the Mezcos.
Yeah.
Got this one right here. This one here is the Tigra. This one you can't really see because of the Predator, but he's starting to become invisible.
Yeah, his legs are like translucent.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a variant. See, 2016 con exclusive, it says. And her one hot toys
donated to the museum by David. Yeah, and then this is also donated by Johnny Future.
Oh yeah, the DeLorean.
DeLorean there. I got him right there because he's loose and it rolls all over the place.
Yeah, that's the original version of the Predator, the first Hot Toys one. By the way. She really wanted one, so she got that for me. Okay, we're moving over here to Masters of the Universe, and this is my Origins. And people asked, people asked if I was going to get the Origins, and I only wanted the vehicles and the animals, and that's what I got. So you see the 2-pack there, and the Battle Cat, Atom. Yeah. And all of that. The Strider. That's pretty much it for Origins.
Yeah. I hope they do a Night Stalker, because in the original they did a Night Stalker but not a Stridor. So I hope they do a Night Stalker.
What do you mean in the original? You mean in the
the original
Classics, the Maddie Classics? Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry. They did both. They did both. They did Night Stalker and Stridor. Yeah, so I hope they do a in the
I think it's
the Classics.
The Classics didn't make it.
Didn't make it. Yeah.
And then, of course, there's some loyal subjects crammed in there.
Yeah. And then we have Panther. This is the Hikari. I got a bunch of Hikari Skeletors. And then you get some Super 7s, the Epic Battle. This is an Origin. I did want this one, the Keldor and the Cronus. That's pre-Skeletor and pre-Trapjaw.
Yeah.
And this is the Super 7 Reactions. I wasn't going to get that, but when they said they were going to stop making these, and I saw it, and I like the sizes, the size is nice, and the card art was just amazing. I got that. And this is also Super 7 when they did that Japanese version.
Some more die cast. And
another... These, when I moved some stuff around on my shelf, I didn't have room for it, so I just set it right there, and I said I was going to get back to it, and didn't.
And your classic 80s clock here, although your time's off.
Yeah, the power went out the other day, and I forgot to set it.
Okay.
Now we're coming back over here to the Maddie Club, or the Filmation. And that's the full run up here. The Filmation Masters of the Universe. It starts here and it ends right here with Evil Seed. So that's the full run
of the original Maddies. Okay. And then from Evil Seed, from Merman on. Yeah,
Merman all the way to the bottom is all Super 7, because Super 7 did the Maddie Club. And they added, now what I do like what Super 7 did, they didn't go back and make the exact same figures. They didn't start with He-Man.
Yes.
They started with Merman, and they made all of the different ones. They did make a He-Man, as you can see here, and they did Prince Adam, the Laughing Prince Adam, in the Christmas version. So we got all that. But they didn't go back and make everybody, Skeletor and Evil-Lyn. So I like that they did that. They gave you more stuff.
And there's regular Prince Adam there.
And I'll move these Hikaris so you can see the rest. See, you got all those down there, and that's pretty nice. I like that. And then these were donated. I had a few. These Mega Construct were donated by Rolo. Gave me a bunch.
Well, he gave you these like Lego style. The Mega Constructs I gave you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, they're not the same thing?
No, they're not.
Okay, yeah, he gave me these. Okay, I thought that was... No. Yeah, he gave me that.
Okay.
Okay. Then we're going to go...
Oh, you Hikaris.
Oh, I thought you had saw those. Okay, so these are the Hikaris.
The rest of them.
Yeah, and again, these are all Skeletor. And the other Hikaris that I have are the Ninja Turtles. Those are the only ones. And those are put away.
And there's a Son of He-Man Hero. Or no.
No, unnamed one.
Unnamed one. Oh, I just saw the Hero thing on there.
Yeah.
And a case.
A case of loyal subjects.
Of loyal subjects that you never got into.
No, because I don't have anywhere, so I just wanted the box, and I had something sitting here, and I moved it, and then I set it down, and I just haven't picked it up yet.
Okay.
Now we're going up there to the top, and we have the classic Mattel Classics when they went back in the 2000s and did the Masters of the Universe.
Very popular line, actually.
Yeah, that's the Maddie Club, where you're in a club and I think you got one a month or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the deluxe one, and you can see Queen Marlena when she was Captain Glenn and she had Cringer. And that storyline, because it is a storyline where she brought Cringer into, the whole thing. So that's where that came from. And then Orko here has the Prince Adam. Prince Adam is laying down sleeping, because they didn't make just a Prince Adam. I don't know if you can see it, but they didn't make just Prince Adam. They put him in there with the Orko, and he's laying down sleeping.
Yeah, you can kind of see them there.
Yeah, which I don't know why they did it. It didn't make any sense. But that's why that box is so big. And then you got the grill door. Then we're getting down here.
That's Super 7.
Yeah, these are Super 7. They did a little bit. They dabbled with the Maddie Club line.
That does not look like Dolph Lundgren. Just saying.
It's as close as you're going to get. And then we're getting down to the Evil Horde. That whole run right there. This line where you're looking at.
Yeah, and these are classics again, right?
Yeah, we're back to the Maddie Club Mattel. And we move. Okay, where are you? Yep.
Yeah.
Still there. So they did a lot. They did a whole
They made a lot, and they had room for more, but they stopped doing it, and they passed it on to Super 7.
Yeah, and now we're getting into the Snake Man.
Yeah, and Super 7 did it for a while, but then Maddie tried to get my face out of there because you can see my reflection. When Maddie started sinking or Super 7 started sinking their teeth into it, Mattel took the license away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And then you have some bobbleheads there.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe, Funko bobbleheads.
They don't make these anymore either.
No. And I have that also in the Ninja Turtles. And then you're getting back here to the vinyl figures from Funko.
Do you want to follow along on the wall, or do you want to knock these
we can do this
pops out?
Yeah, we can do that. I'm sure everybody's chomping at the bit to see these pops.
Yeah. Well, again, those are like some of these are pre-mass production, like
these
especially
three.
those two. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the Funko Masters of the Universe here, and you start with He-Man. I don't have the She-Ra, and I don't have Skeletor.
The originals.
Yeah, the original She-Ra
versions.
and the original Skeletor. And then everything else is like the re-release when it started up again. Now, the one thing I do notice, and I got all of them, because I was big into Funko, big into Masters of the Universe. They never made Teela, which I'm not upset about. But, now this goes back 3.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so I'm not going to pull that out. But,
Ran out of space. I didn't realize it was that many. That's kind of one of the main reasons I got out of it. Is just it's just too much.
It is.
But then we can go back to the wall if you want.
Okay.
And then
We'll go
cover
back to
this.
the wall.
But here's another, and I remember getting that for you.
Yeah, another comic book.
Yeah.
And then we're moving down to frame tray puzzles. Now this is the
That's
back
the back of the puzzle.
of I think this frame tray, because the back looks great.
Yeah.
And then I had 2. So, this is the one and this is another one. So the frame tray puzzles are really nice. People sleep on it, but once you put it together and you hang it up, it's like a piece of art.
Yeah.
I think they're nice.
Yeah, see, you got a nice row of dwarves going here.
Courtesy of David, he donated it to the museum because he was going to get rid of them. Those are his.
Gave them to my wife.
Yeah, and he was going to
Basically.
get rid of it. And I said, I will add it to my collection. And I did. And he had every one of the...
It's the complete run of dwarves, actually.
for the Masters of the Universe. And then we getting back over here to Funko.
Just a little bit. And I just wanted to knock this out before we get into the heavy stuff, because I know what's coming here.
Okay. Yeah, these are all of the rides, and then you got the Snake Mountain and the Skeletor throne, but these are the rides.
And then I noticed you got that picture. Let's see the picture.
My favorite, one of my favorite, I only got 2 favorite wrestlers. The Undertaker and Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
I don't ever find anything from Bob Backlund. But David gave me this. He bought the pictures, and then he matted it and framed it.
Yeah.
He got the ticket.
And that's the old signature, too, because he won't do that anymore. He makes a U and a T with an arrow. He will not do the whole signature anymore.
Yeah,
And
I guess it changed with his look, because he changed his look and his
Yeah.
style. I don't like the new look and style. I like the old one. The very first one when he came out, the late 80s,
when he used to
early
wear
90s.
the spats and the big gloves.
In the hat. And then even this look I still liked.
Uh-huh.
Because he transitioned a couple of times. But I think it's when he became like the biker, or even when he turned baby face. When he was a heel, I thought he was. Then he switched up on me. Okay, where are we now?
We are.
Oh, you're going to go
up
start
here.
over here?
You want to start over here, or you want to
It
knock out the
doesn't matter.
Maddie stuff? Because
We can start right
this
here.
is the meat of it right here. Because these are all original 80s Mattels.
Mm-hmm. And, well, we're going backwards because it's started up here, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, am I going backwards? You want me to move?
No. it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, because I have it set up as a certain way.
Well,
But
it doesn't matter.
but
Let's go over
nobody
here.
will know unless you say something.
Well,
which I
you
said,
said- you
I
did.
I
Yes, you
say
did.
something. So this is the beginning.
Yes.
And then you have He-Man, and actually I got this He-Man off of Craigslist.
Yeah, for a song and a dance.
Yeah, and I don't
It
think
was-
that person knew, and what they were doing.
They just wanted a price, and it was reasonable.
And I didn't believe it, but boy, I drove far.
Yeah.
And they showed up, and I gave them the money.
Yeah.
They drove off. I got in the car and left.
As hopefully, I'm trying to not there. Maybe that's better. Okay. Trying to control the glare.
Yeah. So all of the heroes are here.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the heroes.
And they're all mint on the card.
Yeah. They're all on the card, and I put them in protectors. Keep
And
them
some of
safe.
these are just immaculate, like this Extendar. It looks like
Yeah.
it's box fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Cyclone. There's a handful. And there's a few of these I gave to you.
Yeah, you did.
So I know I gave you that Snout Spout and the Extendar. And I think I gave you the Roboto too.
Mm-hmm. Then we move down here, and you're back. We're still on the heroes. We got Fisto. We start there with Fisto.
If I can, again, it's kind of tough with the glare.
Mm-hmm. And we've been doing some things with the lighting, but there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. It is
And-
a hat.
Which was donated to the channel by Rolo.
Yes.
And then these figures, and we have a video talking about these figures. They're Mexican bootleg. Rolo donated it to the channel, and I commissioned somebody to make the card in the clamshell, and I put them in and put a book behind it and put it up here with the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And these empty spaces are figures that I need.
Yeah.
Because my goal is to fill this wall out.
Mm-hmm.
And once this wall is full, then my collection is complete. Then we're getting to the bad guys. Starting with Skeletor. I found this one on Craigslist too. Beat to death. The person had it on there. I watched it for months. He didn't sell. So I contacted him and asked him, hey, will you take this much? He said, yeah. I got it, glued it back, had David press it out to stretch it out. I'm happy with it.
And there's the one that started it all right there.
What?
Beastman.
Oh, yeah, the Beastman. We got that.
Because I gave that to her way back. And that was, I think, your first vintage Masters.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trapjaw still got his ring.
Ring, yeah. Because these are sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Just really, a lot of these are just amazing cards, like that Web Store.
Yeah, Web Store's real
Web
clear.
Store card, and the Spike-Or was a really perfect card also.
And we had got a big lot I bought out from somebody.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
were selling their collection. And
We did a video on that some time ago.
yeah, that was a couple of years ago. Somebody needed to get rid of their set.
He needed a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to
needed some
replace
money.
his car, and he was like, I hate to do it, but...
Yeah.
And we were like, well, you know, we're not going to resell your stuff.
No.
We're collectors, and that made him a lot more comfortable. And
Yeah.
we got a really good price.
Yeah, we worked out a deal. And,
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Look at that Horde Trooper.
Mm-hmm.
That is so clean. It's like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming down here for some more.
Yeah, now we on the Snake Men.
Yeah. King
Starting out
Hiss
with
and
King Hiss.
Tongue Lasher. And if you're wondering why there's 2 Tongue Lashers, you can see their variants. They're
Yeah.
2 different Tongue Lashers. And then 2 different Rattlors.
Yeah.
There's a significance to that. And
Yeah,
then
I think
back there-
I don't know if you got
No,
these.
it's because there's some more classics hanging right here.
Yeah. Some classics.
Along the wall.
Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna do this.
Sure. And this is more Super 7, right?
Yeah. This is when Super 7 started. They started back at the beginning, and they made the look-alike of these, of the classic ones.
Mm-hmm.
So this
Which
is
is probably why Mattel was like, "You're done," because they wanted to do their Origins line.
yeah. So
It's basically the same thing.
and that's why I didn't get the Origins, because I had the original. I got the Maddie Club, and then Super 7 did this, and then when it came out to the Origins, I was like, wait a minute. I would have 3 sets of the same thing. And I just didn't think it was necessary. And Super 7 made a lot of the same things. I wish they had did what they did with the Filmation, and they started with a figure that wasn't done. But that didn't happen. So
And that's what I was going to ask you. How do you feel about that? With because it seems that they just keep reissuing the same exact figures with maybe a little change.
Yeah, and that I don't like. I don't mind if you you say, okay, we're gonna revisit this toy line. Okay, revisit the toy line, but make figures that was never made.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem to start at the beginning, and then when they stop where they stopped in the original. That's what it seems like to me. Again, I like what they did with the Filmation, because they started with a character that wasn't made.
Yeah. What, you want to go to this display here?
Yeah, we're gonna go to this.
I am so proud of this display.
Why, you want to discuss the display?
No, I don't want to discuss the display, but I just there's happy joy feelings with this display for a reason.
What is your happy joy?
Because I believe almost everything on it was a gift.
Yeah, everything except for I think two figures.
Yeah, these are an accumulation of birthday and Christmas gifts here.
Yeah.
From yours truly to the most wonderful woman on the planet.
Yeah, so these are my vintage, I guess the animals. It's
Boxed,
a couple of vehicles
and
at the
animals
bottom.
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, Battle Bones, the 2-pack.
That's a major grail right there.
Skeletor and Panther, Night Stalker, Panther, Stridor.
Yeah.
And then you have Screech, which I think Screech was in one or maybe 2 episodes of the original.
You hardly saw him.
Yeah.
And he was he was like a robot. He wasn't even a real bird.
And Panther wasn't in there that much, and he didn't wear a little armor.
Nobody rode Panther. I don't recall that.
And he was mainly with Evelyn because he didn't seem to like Skeletor at all. And then, of course, Zor, which is the sorceress.
Yes. And then down here.
I actually got this from Goodwill for 99 cents.
Yeah.
It's not complete at all. But, 99 cents.
Something missing, but it's not bad. I think the tail is missing.
Yeah. And then this is a weapon or a stilt stalker.
Stilt stalker.
And then we have Roton, Road Ripper, and Laser Bolt.
Yeah.
They're all well, that
it's
one's
meant
not
in the box
yeah.
with the flaps open,
yeah.
but I don't think it's been removed.
And that one is sealed, but it's cracked.
Yeah,
and, you know, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah. This stuff is getting a lot harder to come by.
Yeah, it's 40 years old.
Yeah.
Let's move around. I'm going to push. I'm not going to push it. You can get it.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. All right.
So we're back to the classics.
Yes.
The Maddie Club. Let me move this out of the way. We're back to the Maddie Club, and we just have a few here. And I got some more on the wall. I didn't realize how much Maddie Club it was.
And this isn't everything, is it? I think you have some packed, don't you?
Not Maddie Club.
Oh, okay.
All of the Maddie Club. Everything from Masters of the Universe is on display.
Uh-huh.
Everything. And
Okay.
that, you know, it's a lot. Then we back to some vintage.
Playsets, yeah.
Okay, so we have the Dragon Walker. It is damaged, but again, it's 40 years old.
Yeah,
What
it's
do you
sealed. It's
expect?
just that it's the cellophane split.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. Set that there. Slime Pit I got from actually one of the cons.
Mm-hmm.
And Land Shark.
Yeah.
Point Dread I got from a con. I can't remember which one, but I know I got it from a con. And the Fright Zone I got from a con.
And the hand puppet in that one is like butter. It is still like soft and pliable. So we got it like sealed up in something in there to keep it fresh. Because those things, they dry out and they crack and fall apart.
Set that down there.
Now she's all befuddled.
Oh.
Got to be careful.
Yeah, you got to. Okay. Now we're moving around again. We're back to this.
Yeah, and I see a couple of
Oh yeah, let me.
couple of 200X.
Yeah, I got some 200X. I actually like that series, that show.
Yeah.
It was well done. It was well done. The figures are starting to go up, so if you want some 200X.
Yeah, now's the time.
Yeah, because they're starting to go up. And then this is another Maddie Club.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
And a few more back here and up the wall.
Yeah,
And I guess I'll come up here.
Yeah. And I had it more organized. But once I wanted to do more with the original masters from the 80s.
Yes.
So I moved everything around, so then it got broken up. Because I like everything to just flow, but it got broken up. Well, you know, it's no big deal. So what you do what you can do. But yeah, this is all of the Maddie Club. I don't know how many I don't have. I can't say. But I have a lot.
You don't have any of the She-Ra anyway.
No, because I didn't care for the She-Ra. So I don't. I do have a Dora.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, but not the She-Ra collection because they had a bunch of the She-Ras. I don't have any of her. I do have the Horde, which is, you know, part of She-Ra, but I like that they did Keldor.
Yeah. They just run through here. But I mean, I understand you moving them around anyways, because if I was going to showcase, I would absolutely want the original 80s ones front and center.
Yeah, and I had the 80s ones here, but they outgrew this spot.
Yeah.
So I had to move them around a bit.
And then a lot of vinyl.
This is my record collection and our record station.
Yeah.
So we have our record, and then I have them in these crates and I got them. They're in no particular order, but we listened to them, and I put them in the back. So we're on this crate right now. And then once we get to the end, we move to this crate. And that's what we do.
So we sit down here and we listen to the records and we read comics and hang out. And
hang out, clean, read books.
Yeah.
Look at this, look at that. How can I make space?
Space is always an issue.
Yeah, and while we're doing all that, the record is playing. And we're back to Super 7.
Yeah.
And this is what they started with. I think, I'm not going to say that, but this is the first ever Ultimates.
Uh-huh.
This is how the Ultimates looked when they started.
Yeah, on a card like that.
And then they moved over to the box versions. So, they have all these are the Ultimates. And, you know, you can see you got all of the weapons and the extra heads. And, then they started back here, which I like because they did an Atom, which was never done. Well, no, I take that back. I'm thinking about something else. So I take that
They
back.
did a few things that were never done here because they went back to basics with the show and found things that hadn't been done, like Robot He-Man.
Yeah, and
they were
transforming He-Man.
Trying to do Filmation type figures on the original, with the original body construction, like the gold statue of He-Man there, and the Shadow Orko, stuff that hadn't been done. They were fishing, but
they wanted to do more, but you know,
things happen.
Yeah,
Mattel had Origins coming up, and that's that. Or like the Crystal Man-at-Arms,
and the Frozen Tila, and those are all from specific episodes.
She should have stayed frozen.
I know. And then they were going down this road, the Grayskull.
Grayskull, Eldor.
But then I think they only did 2. I have them. I don't know where the other one is, but it was only 2, and then the line ended.
And then on the back side here, I believe we go back to.
Yeah.
Yep. Try to. Wow, that just does not want to get seen.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and this is an exclusive right here.
Oh yeah.
King Grayskull.
Does still work?
Yeah. Yeah, that came out a few years ago.
Yeah. And then these sets, Vicon or Vicron rather, both versions of Vicron.
And the Battle Cat, and I just need Panther to complete, you know, the animals right there. Yeah, and then Super 7 did the Stridor, because Matty Club didn't do the Stridor.
But they never made Night Stalker.
They made Night Stalker.
No, I mean Matty Club.
No.
Didn't do Night Stalker, right?
No. Matty Club did Night Stalker. They didn't do Stridor.
Okay.
Super 7 did Stridor. And then I got this one.
Procrustes.
A steel. That Grandmere.
Oh yeah, the Grandmere was really inexpensive.
Yeah.
It is the red version also, but
yeah, that one. You know, I got it quick because I think the person made a typo on eBay.
Well,
so I had to jump on that.
See all that reflection?
Yeah.
That's why you don't do the film in your underwear. I've seen a few of these like tour videos where you start seeing reflection in the glass cases and stuff, and it's like, that guy's in his drawers. Or
why wouldn't you put your clothes on?
I don't know, because he didn't think anybody would know, I guess, but I've noticed that, and it's like, oh, guys, if you're ever going to film, make sure you're dressed. And down here
we have the NECA Pennywise.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the Batarang.
Yeah, the Batarang.
Replica.
The one-on-one. And then the NECA, they re-released the Keaton
Batman.
So I got that because I love Keaton.
Yes.
And
Everybody's favorite Batman. And the neck of Pennywise and a Master's lunchbox. And you actually have a pretty big lunchbox collection.
Yeah,
but
you won't see it.
You won't see it. And under here we have some hidden goodies.
Yeah, some of the things that didn't make it to the shelf are under here.
Yeah, I see some like some Four Horsemen Masters stuff and the Jumbo Masters figures and some wrestlers back there, because you got a bunch of wrestlers too.
Yeah, and I did have the wrestlers on display, and I took those down. And then I have this going on.
Yeah.
My toy box. It's a Raggedy Ann and Andy toy box. And then a speaker. I found these at Goodwill.
Those came from Value Village. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like 10 cents.
And they are original wall hangings.
Yeah.
That's the original ones.
This is a lunch tray.
Yeah.
And then my Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. And I had 2 trash cans from Raggedy Ann because I had got one and the person sent it to me crushed.
Yes.
I think we did a video on that.
Yeah.
So that's this. And then I have here my Sesame Street town.
Yeah, child guidance.
Yeah.
And some frame tray puzzles and some books. And down under here,
yeah,
Care Bear's store display unit there. And it's a musical talking one. You press
and
the
it's
button.
long. So you hit the button, you're going to get 3 different songs.
And their heads bob back and forth, and they sing. Yeah,
they do all that. This is
3-0, right?
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. 1/6 scale. These are the only 3 that I have.
Yeah, working on it.
I honestly forgot about this set.
Did you?
Yeah, I truly did. I mean, cause I have them. They're over here, and you can't really see them. And I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I'll get back to it eventually.
It's all right. No rush.
No, I ain't worried about it. This is my little comic book section, I guess.
Except for this, that fell apart.
Yeah, this is the mini comic collection. So all of the mini comics are here. We read through that, and then this is one of the newer Masters of the Universe stories.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that. The newer stories I didn't like. This is what is this? One of these are the Pixel Dan one. The toys.
Yeah.
That one is the one Pixel Dan put out. This is just the character guide and the art.
Yeah.
And
some
then we
Cracker
have
Jack
some,
stuff down there.
Oh yeah. The Cracker Jacks are courtesy of Edwin.
Well, the boxes.
The boxes. And then I had the lunchbox. I found this at one of the toy swaps. The van came from the toy swap.
Yeah, that came from the toy swap. And the cup and bowl I gave you.
Yeah.
Berenstein Bears, and that one's like mint with the tags. That's like fantastic
all of the
condition.
paperwork is in there.
Just a few of her lunchboxes, but as I was saying, she has a ton of them. Just no place to really show them right now.
Yeah.
The lunchboxes. Who's hiding back there? Oh, that's the.
This is from Edwin. DuckTales.
Little one, yeah. I was looking at that. That's the Schoolhouse Rock. And that's a NECA.
Yeah, because they didn't make it originally.
Yeah, they never made anything for Schoolhouse Rock, actually.
No. NECA was doing some lunch boxes for a while, but, they kind of faded out.
There's a handful of omnibus there.
Swamp Thing, the Alan Moore series here. Yeah. This is the one that I'm on now. I'm on volume 2. Then you got the WWE Encyclopedia and the omnibus of the Turtles. Some other books.
Yeah.
Here, more WWE
Just
stuff.
A handful. We don't have everything out.
No, Dark Shadows, comic books, Man Thing, Swamp Thing, another Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
there. And what's this? Oh, that's
Richard
just
Scarry.
Richard Scarry.
Richard Scarry is awesome.
Yeah, the Killing Joke.
Uh-huh.
Another one from Edwin.
Edwin. Another ornament. What's that one?
Oh,
Mickey?
Mickey Mouse.
Yep.
Then we got our, these are all highlight books.
Yeah, if you probably saw these in one of our unboxing videos, but it's something we grew up with. If you're old enough, you remember when these were in every pediatrician's and doctor's office. Mm-hmm. And they're just really cool, and they still make them, and they still do them pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
Just for the point of reference there.
These are some Sesame Street books. Mm-hmm. The complete sets.
Yes.
Different ones. Sesame Street. And then just some other children's books.
Yeah.
That we have there. And this bottom is more highlight books.
Yeah, older ones. Because it goes all the way back to like the 40s.
All the way to the 40s, yeah. So.
And that's where we are in here.
Yep.
And then, we didn't...
oh, yeah.
Because she took down a lot of statues recently. You probably
I'm
saw
going to pull
that.
this out. So just give me a minute.
Okay, so she made me stop. Because she wanted to get a better shot of the statues.
Not down there.
Up
That's
here.
my storage. That's my storage area. One of.
But
these are my statues.
She had a ton of them out, but she packed a bunch up just recently.
Yeah, I packed them up because I don't like how they're displayed.
Yes.
This I call open air because it's open all the way around. I like statues to be in an enclosed space. At least the back side is covered, or even three sides, two sides, but at least the back. And I don't have that, and I don't like it out. I have these jokers out because I really like these statues. And I just got this one. We did a review, so I'm gonna let it sit out for a while.
Yeah, that's the Queen Studio right here, and the other one was Prime 1.
Mm-hmm. But I put the rest of them up because it was starting to get cluttered. Because it was, like 5 or 6 statues on this table and 2 on the other table.
Yeah.
And, I don't like how it's displayed. I don't like this style. Like I said, I call this open air. And, I don't like it. This is MFA. He did this. I liked it because it was a Keldor statue. And you never see anybody that concentrates on Keldor. And of course Keldor is pre-Skeletor.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that statue. And we did a review on it. I like it. He's doing more of other characters and stuff like that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I guess that is it for the room.
Mm-hmm.
And next we will have to film out in the hall.